Let's begin this morning with the ANC policy conference in Nasrec, Johannesburg, that is currently underway. Delegates are arriving for day 2 of the party's policy discussions. So some of the policies they'll be getting down with are around strengthening economic recovery and reconstruction to build an inclusive economy. eNCA senior reporter Aviwe Mtila is following the proceedings for us, and he joins us at Nasrec. Aviwe, I do obviously look at the fact that in the morning, as per some of the conversations that were held earlier on, it's around how the African National Congress could potentially renew itself, and practically so speak about issues around balance of forces. How is it that there could be more equal representation of women when it comes to those that hold the top positions of the ANC? But I believe that another topic of conversation that needs to come into being is around our borders, right? It's also around migration issues and policies around stability and peace and security, which cannot be achieved unless there's some kind of an account in terms of who's in South Africa, how many illegal foreigners are in South Africa, and what to do with law enforcement in that regard.
All 8 commissions at the moment looking at the organizational renewal, crime and corruption, state capture, gender-based violence, some of those issues that are being tabled with all of those commissions looking at those issues currently. But in the afternoon, then they'll move to the separate commissions looking at various issues and policies and ideologies. But one of them will be looking at peace and stability. And one of those people that will be inside there is Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi. Minister, thank you for joining us at eNCA, but you're looking at a very crucial one, given at the backdrop of what we've just seen in Krugersdorp, 67 people arrested for that heinous crime of that rape that we saw there. What do we know, in fact, about what has happened there so far in terms of who they are?
Well, look, we just got a briefing from Minister Cele when he was briefing the president yesterday about what happened, and he was still going there. Since he has been there for the whole day and I was in the commission, we have not yet met. But what I picked up from him is that these are nationals who are working as zamazamas in the mines. And as you know, most of the zamazamas in the mine come from Lesotho. And he says the people there actually have reported to him that, yes, these are the people from Lesotho and they've been harassing them for quite a long time, unfortunately.
67 of them, Minister. I would then talk to the loose borders that we're seeing and lack of policing, all of these things tying in together. How do we strengthen law enforcement, Minister?
Well, Aviwe, you have gone with me to the borders many times. You are aware that we have just established a border management authority. It's in its infancy. 2 weeks ago, I actually went to the borders to launch the first cohort of 200 border guards who are going to deal with border law enforcement. In other words, we never argued against the fact that our borders are porous. We have never denied that. It's an accusation that they've been made and we accepted it. But actually, a decade ago, the National Intelligence Coordinating Committee, when they were doing intelligence estimates, got worried about the border, the porousness of our borders. And they recommended that we form this border management authority. Unfortunately, to enact an act and for it to go through Parliament, it took that long. It took about 10 years. But at any rate, we are now launching it. Now, through that border management authority and the border guards, we are not saying people should not visit South Africa. The border guards are not there to stop people from visiting. They are there to say, if you are visiting, go through the normal border gate, and there is the border gate where you'll be fingerprinted, you'll be photographed, and your details will be taken so that you know you are in the country. Because when people come in the country, if they don't want to be known, there's no way, there's nothing you can do about it. They really go underground. And people then accuse Home Affairs and say, no, but Home Affairs is failing to document people. We're not failing to document them. They don't want to be documented. And when I say so, people believe I'm mad or I'm trying to be defensive or I'm running away from reality. I'm not. I know it. If you bring me 1,000 people today and take them to one of the refugee reception centers who are illegal and they say they want to apply for asylum, they will be documented. We'll give them a Section 22 permit because they reported themselves. Whether it is true they are deserving of asylum in terms of our own act or international law, that's not an issue. The issue is that they've announced themselves and say, I'm here in your country and I want to apply for this and that. Then they get documented. Mostly those who are not documented, like the people are talking about, they wouldn't like to be known because, I mean, they are here for this type of activities. How do you want to be known when you know that one day you'll be doing something like that, a heinous crime like rape, which is so painful?
Do we have a number, Minister, in terms of how many undocumented foreign nationals are in the country? And are you having conversation with the countries themselves? Because last time we were at Beitbridge border, we heard how even the policing force there, that side, the army is aiding them to come in the country.
You can't have a number of something you don't know. People who are undocumented are unknown. And as I said, some of them deliberately don't want to be known, because if they want to be known, they'll come. They'll come out, they'll go to the refugee reception centers if they are refugees, or they'll go to one of the 412 offices of Home Affairs. Each one of them have got an immigration inside. They will do so. So you won't know the number. And it's estimated by various institutions, but we don't know. We only know the number of those we have given refugee status, the number of those who are asylum seekers who are applying. We know those numbers, the number of those who came via the various immigration permits, you know, like the study visa, the work permit, corporate visa, retirement visa, permanent residence, naturalization. We know all those. But those who have gone underground, how do you know them? Because they are underground. It's like asking me how many people are selling drugs in South Africa. I will never be able, I mean, like asking the Minister of Police, you will just know that there is a problem of drugs in South Africa, but you don't know how many people are involved in that trade. The only ones you know are the ones you have caught who are in jail.
Are you having those conversations with the neighboring countries, given that it seems like they're being aided by even the army to come in the country?
Well, the issue of being aided by the army we had at Beitbridge, where the South African National Defence Force was telling us that the army over the other side in Zimbabwe aid people. It's not a policy of Zimbabwe. It's part of corruption, by the way. Just like when you are in South Africa, you get stopped by a traffic police and they get a bribe for you. It's not the policy of government, it's corruption. So we were made to understand that there are army officials who are corrupt because they are aiding them in order to get money from them. In other words, they are not just aiding them out of some feeling of patriotism. No, it's an exploitation of corruption where they say, oh, you want to get into South Africa illegally, I'm going to help you to cross the river. Give me 300 rand. So that is corruption, which is also the corruption we are dealing with on our side of the border.
Minister, lawlessness seems to be the order of the day, given that weekend after weekend we're hearing of various shooting incidents that are quite brazen in their nature. The police are clearly failing. Are there stringent measures that are going to be put in place in terms of even maybe deploying SANDF?
Well, I sit in the Peace and Stability Committee of the ANC, but I also sit in the Justice, Crime and Crime Prevention, Justice, Security and Crime Prevention cluster of government. But I also sit in the National Security Council, chaired by the President, where these issues are actually discussed. One of the issues that were raised, even raised, remember, by that commission which dealt with the July uprisings, is the fact that we used to have more police in the past and their number is dwindled. And you are aware that the police minister has been given money to try and replenish and add more police. On our side as Home Affairs, we have been given money to hire more immigration officers. And you are aware that we have just hired the border guards. All those things are done for the security of the country.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi. Going into those commissions, of course, looking at peace and stability that really needs to be grappled with in the country, given how brazen it really is. Shootings after shootings that we're hearing on almost every weekend, Faith, that really needs to be tackled.